I would like to propose that anytime one of you little maggots opens your mouth and says, "Oh, I didn't vote for this," you must immediately follow it with the phrase, "Kamala was right."
Honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people. You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us, and especially by race. And let's remember how Donald Trump started. He was he owned land, he owned buildings, and he was investigated because he refused to rent property to black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5. Took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first black president of the United States. And I think the American people want better than that, want better than this, want someone who understands, as I do, I travel our country. We see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other. I meet with people all the time who tell me, can we please just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams of the American people? Knowing that regardless of people's color or the language their grandmother speaks, we all have the same dreams and aspirations and want a president who invests in those, not in hate and division.
All right, I'm going to pause here and say this, right? I think Americans need to have an honest conversation because politics shouldn't be about pride, right? It should be about reality. I'm watching these old clips of Kamala Harris making prediction during the campaign, and she was right. And the thing is, it's not that it's all Democrats that are sharing it. It's ordinary Americans saying it that she warned us. Now, before anyone get upset, because I'm not trying to make anyone get upset here, I'm not saying Harris was right about everything. No politician is ever right. But if someone makes a prediction and part of that prediction starts to happen or starts happening, we should be mature enough to acknowledge it. And one of her biggest warning was about the tariffs. She repeatedly argued that broad tariff would increase the cost of American consumers before their business. And this is not just politics. This is about me and you. Many economists today are making the same argument. America imports more than 3 trillion worth of goods every year. So when import cost increases, the people that suffer it the most are we, you and I. She also warned that American could become more deeply involved with international conflict instead of being less involved. Today, we are watching over additional military funding, rising tension overseas. Congress is discussing about billions. Whether you agree with her politically or not, those conversations are really happening, and that is what is happening, and that's the fact. Let's continue.
Kamala Harris was a prophet.
She was a prophet.
Everything that she predicted Donald Trump would do, he has done in less than 18 months. He has started new wars.
Yeah.
He has driven up inflation, not just at home, but global inflation as well. He has driven up energy prices. He is spiraling us into the biggest recession that anyone has ever seen since the Great Depression.
Crazy.
So tell me, if you voted for Donald Trump, why exactly was it that you could not put the best interest of yourself, your friends, and neighbors above your misogyny and patriarchy? I'll wait for your answer in the comments.
He does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens.
Crazy.
And let's be clear, about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify, in his mind, as the enemy within. Like judges.
See, this is
like
the issue I have with this man. Like few days ago, he was saying the Republicans do not Senate Republicans, or what I call it now, the Republicans that are in Senate, right? If they do not pass the Save Art bill, they don't vote for it to pass, blah blah blah, that they will be reprimanded. Like, why will you threaten them to pass a bill for your sake? Like, why would you literally be threatening them? Why? To what end? And this is exactly why I tell people, stop voting for personality. Start paying attention to policy, because once the election is over, campaign speeches don't matter anymore. It's now reality. That is what matters. Your grocery bill would matter. Your health care would matter. Your rent would matter. Your paycheck would matter. Your taxes would matter. If American is debating another $88 billion in military funding, while families continue to worry about healthcare, housing, and everyday expenses, people are going to ask questions. That's not about being anti-America. That's being a taxpayer. One thing Kamala Harris talked about repeatedly was this priority. She argued that government should understand that certain decisions will affect the American people. Now, whether you like it or not, whether you vote for her or not, look around. Americans are asking the same question. Are our priorities in the right places? Should America focus more on solving the problem at home before approving more spendings overseas? These are the questions that should be asked. Crazy, man. And
journalists,
and
like
cause us enemies
nonpartisan election officials. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People he calls, quote, the enemy from within. America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. As far as I'm concerned, this president is motivated by his personal insecurities more than he is our national security. And so what we're looking at is, again, a threat that might be taken seriously. And I would dare to say that that threat was issued without serious consultation with our allies, with our military leaders, with our diplomatic leaders. What are our alternatives? Let's also be clear, if this president is thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran, the consequences will be absolutely unacceptable and tragic in terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers who would be sent and deployed into something that was completely avoidable.
When are we going to accept that Kamala Harris was always right, no matter how you feel about her, no matter how you feel about her being a vice president, no matter how you feel about her morality, her skill set, no matter how you feel about her as a person? Kamala Harris was always right. And every step that Donald Trump has taken, she not only predicted, she said it would happen, and she gave us a play-by-play on the other options in case he wouldn't even do that one.
In 2016, you would have labeled me as a never Trumper, and I was. I was very outspoken at the time against Donald Trump. I found him to be very crude. I had a major problem with his moral shortcomings, and I just didn't understand why people would follow this man. In fact, when it came time to vote, I wrote in another candidate. However, now in 2024, I will be voting for Donald J. Trump. You say, why have you changed?
You are voting for Donald J. Trump. So how is it going for you? How is your paycheck going for you? How is things going for you? How is your health care going for you? How is your taxes going for you? How is the cost of living going for you? How is it going for you?
What has changed your mind over that time period? One thing is record. So Donald Trump still says a lot of stupid stuff. I'll be the first to admit that. He tweets some things, says some things that just make me cringe. But I'm more concerned about what a person does compared to what they say. We've had a lot of politicians that say all the right things, but they don't do any of those things. During Donald Trump's presidency, we had a better economy. You can argue that all you want. The Democrats have been in power 12 of the last 16 years, and the economy's been terrible under their leadership. The 4 years when we had a Republican, it was good. And we didn't have any wars under Donald Trump. By the way, we can compare that to the other candidate, who we also have their record. It just baffles my mind. Everybody says this is what she's going to do and the change she's going to make. She's in power right now. We can compare record to record. And I'll tell you, I'll take Donald Trump's record any day of the week over what we've had the past
Before
three.
you compare record to record, please, how is it going now? The Iran war, is it not a war? How many times have we won this war? We've won the war according to Donald Trump. We've won the wars 45 times. Every time we've won the war, every time we've decimated them. They are this, they are that. How is it going now? So how is it going? How is it going? And they want $88 billion more for funding of this war.
2.5 years under Biden and Harris. It's been absolutely abysmal. And to be truthful, I'm voting against some things. I am totally against censorship. You would think in the United States of America, we would hold tightly to the freedom of speech and understand that dictatorships take place under censorship and under controlling of speech. And that's exactly what's been happening or attempting to be happening under the Biden-Harris administration. And they're going to continue to do that. It came out, Mark Zuckerberg admitted, and he's not a conservative, that he was pressured by the Biden-Harris administration to censor vital information. Every single American should be strongly against censorship in any form or fashion. I'm voting against attacks on democracy. It's amazing that they say that voting Donald Trump in democratically, correctly, is somehow going to hurt democracy. But what they've done is they conducted a coup, and then they just said, this is your candidate, and placed somebody in that position without a single vote. That is what you should be fearful of.
He's crazy.
I'm voting against the people that have literally...
Kamala Harris was right about everything. Russia is giving information to Iran about U.S. warships, aircraft, other assets in the region. U.S. intelligence knows this. Kamala Harris said that these dictators would eat Trump for breakfast or for lunch, whatever. And MAGA laughed at her, and MAGA acted like their God King is this tough businessman who can strike deals with anyone. And Trump has always said Putin is that they have a good relationship, they're buddies, acting like he knows how to control him. No, it's the other way around. Putin knows how to control Trump, and he always has. And when Trump was asked about the U.S., when he was asked about Russia giving information to Iran, his response was, what a stupid question. What a stupid question. Are we great yet, MAGA? Is this America first? Acknowledging that someone who is supposed to be an ally of the president, right? They're supposedly have a good relationship, according to Trump. Giving information to our enemy. Is this what you voted for? This the art of the deal?
Yes, where I will leave it. This video isn't about saying Democrats won. It isn't about saying Republican lost. It's about accountability. If Donald Trump makes a prediction that turns out right, you say it. If Kamala Harris makes a prediction that turns out right also, you will say it too. Okay? Because once politics becomes about protecting politicians instead of protecting the truth, everybody loses. Because as it stands now, these guys have the money. They have money, they are eating their life, they're enjoying things, they're not the ones suffering. But you Americans, you and I are the ones suffering, not the party label, not the campaign slogan, but the results. Maybe that's a lesson from all of these old clips. Sometimes the best way to understand today is to listen to what was being said yesterday. That's just the best way to understand today. So looking back at this clip now, Do you think some of this warning deserves a second look, or do you think people are just taking a comment out of context? So I want to hear your opinion in the comment section.